Hey everybody, Roman versus with the Squashfest podcast and my co-host.
The boy Hom. Got nothing today. I got nothing. Nothing. Don't even.
uh yeah, Backlash.
eh.
Backlash.
Backlash was backlash, man. Like we came into it knowing that there was only going to be a few matches on the card, 5 matches. They apparently we found out today, or it was announced yesterday, that they pulled the Jey Uso match from the card and they're doing it at main event, the Saturday night main event. So we had 5 matches. Overall, every match was okay to above average, and there were no really great matches on this card. All of the results seemed like we knew what the results were going to be coming in. There was one we waffled on back and forth a little bit. It could have went either way, and
I listen.
you listened to me. It could have went either way. Like it made sense both ways. But we'll get into it. The first match was Jacob Fatu, LA Knight, Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre. Great way to start off the show.
Amazing. Yeah.
Gets your crowd hot. Uh, this might have been the match of the night, just from because you told how to your point. You're telling stories in this match. You tell two different stories. You had a debut towards the end for indie wrestling fans guy who I love, and you continuing the Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa dissension towards the end. Um, Everybody got their stuff in. Everybody looked great. At one point, they had false finishes for just about everybody, showing you that maybe Drew's going to walk away with this. Maybe it's going to be Damian Priest. Maybe it's going to be LA Knight. But no, Jacob Fatu gets the win due to a debuting Jeff Cobb from New Japan Pro Wrestling. And if you ever watched Lucha Underground, Matanza, and if you've probably seen him on AEW, if you've watched him on AEW before, really big, burly dude, fits in perfectly with the bloodline and everything Solo's been doing. Jeff Cobb is a star. I mean, not a star, but he's a really good wrestler. I don't know if he's going to be a star, but he's going to be a really good wrestler for WWE. They also continued the feud of Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre in this match, where at one point where Drew McIntyre had the match won with a Claymore, and Damian Priest pulled the ref out and gave Drew McIntyre the up yours thing. To your point, I know you don't want this to continue, but it's going to keep going. They feuded. They started to fight off to the side while the match was still going on, and a really gnarly spot where they were standing on top of the equipment racks, and Damian Priest, south of heaven, chokeslammed Drew McIntyre through 2 tables, and Drew apparently banged his head on the floor and may have a concussion. Well, hopefully he's not hurt, but they're saying that they're looking at him now. Hopefully he's not hurt. But this was a really solid match, really fun, a lot of really high spots. Again, Jacob Fatu with the win.
So yeah, to your point, a lot of stories being told. I called it in the beginning of the match. I said I know at some point these two are gonna say screw the match and let's just go beat each other up somewhere. I knew that
Yep.
was coming, and that's what infuriates me. You know what I mean? Like Damien made such a point to emphasize that he wants that title. Drew made such a point last night on Friday Night SmackDown that he wanted that title. And ultimately they both said, "Nah, we gotta finish each other off because
there's a blood feud. Whenever your emotions are high and you're going, you don't think logically.
Whatever. I said it in this morning technically's podcast. I'm just tired of them together. I just need something else. But it was fine. I mean, they put on a show. They put on a show tonight. So, I mean, they always put on a good match. I can't complain in that standpoint. It's just that story wise, it's stale, and story wise is what gets me excited for things. So even though the matches are great, I still that's where my hunger comes into is like the story though. Like what are we doing? It's the same thing over and over. But whatever. I digress. I love the fact that they were telling more of a story with Jacob
Jacob
Fatu,
Fatu.
and how the fact that he had no plan. He was just like, I'm going in there, I'm gonna wreck everybody, I'm gonna retain my title. And Solo was like, that's not good enough.
Yep.
We need a plan. And he just decided on his own, I'm gonna make a plan. You're not gonna do nothing. I can't risk you losing this belt. I'm gonna make
Hmm.
sure to do it. So even though Solo can't win a match to save his life, you see that he's still maniacal and he's able to like pull these strings and do certain
Bringing
things.
in more Pacific Islanders.
Yeah, facts,
More, more Pacific Islanders.
facts. Um, just to show again, because everybody. But that's the thing, and I mentioned it during the match while we were watching it. Everybody he brings in gets hurt, so it's not exactly he like in order to keep the bloodline thing going, you have to bring in people to fill those gaps. But
Mm.
my only thing is, what happens when they all come back?
Ooh, we're gonna have so many Samoans and Hawaiians and Tongans just beating the crap out of each other.
It's gonna be
Like,
insane. There's so many of them right now. But I'm here for it. I'm here. I'm totally
there's gonna
here
be
for it.
6 dudes in that group. There's gonna be 6 of them. 6, 5? I don't even know. I think it's 5. Doesn't matter, right?
Tamatanga, Tangaloa,
Tongaloa, Jeff Cobb.
Jeff
There's 5.
Cobb,
Solo and Jacob.
Jacob, and Solo. And I argued that Bronson Reed, because they mentioned it on commentary that he was a part of the bloodline.
I don't think it's part of the one. And they still
I
have the other one. They still have the other one that they signed from New Japan Pro Wrestling, Hikuleu, the 7 foot tall one.
That he still
The
hasn't
young
debuted.
he hasn't debuted, the younger brother of Tama Tonga and Tongaloa. He
So
still hasn't
either way, right now they're currently at 5. They might be at 6 or 7.
debuted. It's by the end of the year. All right. Next match we have is Lyra Valkeria versus Becky Lynch. And you were steadfast on Lyra winning. I kind of talked you into Becky winning. This this match was solid,
Mm-hmm.
but there were some really clunky spots in this match. There was some spots where it's just like, what is she doing? This when Lyra goes to the corner to go for a moonsault, and there's like, wait, I'm not supposed to hit the moonsault right now, and just turns back around and goes for a pinfall. She looked lost. Like, I'm just like, what are you doing? There were spots where you can see that they were off beat a little bit, like when Becky's trying to set up for her manhandle slams and Lyra didn't have her arms in the right way. Becky's kind of like positioning her how to get him in right. Like there was just the chemistry wasn't there right, really between these two women.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was solid enough. Eventually, Lyra gets to win. Becky does all the heel tricks. She takes the top turnbuckle off and she tries to get get the spot where Lyra bangs her head into the turnbuckle. Jessica Carr, the referee, goes out of the ring at one point to go get the turnbuckle and reattach it.
I thought that was
Um,
so dumb. I've
cause,
never
cause,
seen that happen in my life.
I've seen referees try to reattach a turnbuckle. I've never seen the
100%.
point. I've never seen the point of emphasis where a referee leaves the ring
Mm-hmm.
to get the turnbuckle pad to put it back on, costing the champion to retain. She didn't cost her to retain, but Lyra hit the Thunderbird or whatever her move is called. I don't even remember what it's called. The Eagle Eye, whatever it is. She hits
Whatever.
that fireman's carry into a Michinoku driver she uses. And then Becky kicks out because Jessica Carr was out of position. Eventually, Becky goes for manhandle slam. Lyra reverses. Becky thumbs Lyra in the eye
Mm-hmm.
and then goes for a manhandle slam. And Lyra was able to somehow turn that manhandle slam into a roll up while still selling her eye injury for the pinfall. Lyra wins. Becky gets the post match beatdown. Everybody comes out to save Lyra. So you get Becky still standing tall at the end of the match, even though she didn't win. So she still gets her heat. Like I said, I thought Becky was going to win this. I thought it would have been smarter to have Lyra chase Becky. But because even winning on a roll up for Lyra, to me, that doesn't make her look as strong as it would, as
Yeah.
if she would have beat Becky with her finish.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like how they booked that.
I 100% agree. I thought that's why you convinced me that Becky was going to win, because originally I had Lyra winning, but you sold me on it because, again, you sold me on the fact that story wise it makes more sense and it's more captivating to have Lyra be chasing the title. I mean, everything you said, booking wise, made perfect sense. I don't know that this really did anything because the whole
No,
point of her getting over on Becky is to make her a bigger star.
elevator.
I don't feel that this did that.
No,
I feel like she's still in the same position,
yeah,
and this feud does not go away. Now it
no,
continues.
absolutely not. I thought after the post match beatdown, when you get the Bailey return to save her, that would have made more sense. You
Hmm.
know, but that'll still come. Maybe we'll get a Saturday night main event match in tonight, maybe 2 weeks. I don't know, but this didn't do much for Lyra, in my opinion. Then we got Pat McAfee versus Gunther. For everything I said about this match,
Hmm.
where I said this needed to be a squash, this needed to be short, this needed to be violent, this needed to be whatever. The way they booked out this match, though, made more sense. It was Gunther coming in, taking Pat McAfee lightly,
Hmm.
and then very early on in the match, just saying, "I, you're here with me. Show me that you can handle being in here with me."
Hmm.
So this match wasn't really a wrestling match.
No.
They didn't have there wasn't a lot of holds, there wasn't a lot of wrestling moves. This was a fight. This
Yeah.
was these two guys chopping elbows, kicks, super kicks. This was just physicality.
Hmm.
And they made Pat look really good in this match. Um, Gunther, to your point, Gunther may have been holding his shots back a little bit
A
because he was
hundred
not.
percent, he was
He was
holding them
not.
chops back.
He was not
It even
doing
looked like when he
on.
was chopping, like he wasn't hitting his full chest, but rather
Yeah,
he was hitting like the side to make sure he was.
I made a point of it early on in the match. When you looked at Gunther's chest,
Hmm.
Pat McAfee's hand imprint
Hmm.
was imprinted on his chest. You can see the outline of his fingers
Hmm.
on Gunther's chest. That's how hard he was hitting him.
Yeah,
Um,
that was 100% a conversation.
yeah, one
That
hundred
was
percent. He's
a
like, give
hundred
it to me.
percent. He was like, "Make sure you chop me good." He's like, "Don't worry, I'll take care of you." That
I'll
was
take care of you.
definitely
Yeah.
the conversation
Mhm.
before
Yeah.
this match, and you can see it.
Yeah. Not that he didn't hit him because Pat's whole
No,
upper body was
no,
red. Like
he definitely hit him. But Pat also gets red for nothing.
yeah. Eventually Gunther get so towards the end of the match, Gunther started getting more violent and more sadistic, and Michael Cole started getting more animated. He made a point of saying in the pre-show and before this match, "I am not going to be unbiased. I am
Mm-hmm.
going to be biased in this match." Pat is defending myself, Wade, all of the commentators who have an opinion based on what we do.
Mm-hmm.
So Michael Cole at one point takes his headset off, goes to the side of the ring to cheer on Pat McAfee or to tell Pat McAfee, actually he was trying to tell Pat McAfee to submit because that's when Gunther had the Boston Crab in. He was trying to tell Pat to submit, to just give up and end it. And Pat saw Michael Cole and would not do it. He turned the entire he used his muscle to turn Gunther and crawl towards Michael Cole's side and get the break. When that happened, Gunther grabs Michael Cole and brings him into the ring, and then starts bullying him basically, and looks like he's going to attack him. Pat McAfee hits a jumping front kick, and to save Michael Cole. Michael Cole leaves, and then from that point on, it was just really Gunther hitting him with sleeper holds afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Hits him with a power bomb. Michael Cole yells again, finish it, it's over. And then Gunther eventually hits him with a couple of sleeper holds until Pat McAfee passes out. The post match I don't like. The post match was Pat McAfee and Michael Cole in the ring with Gunther. First of all, Michael Cole, this man almost killed you a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
He dragged you into the ring during the match and was
Mm-hmm.
bullying you during the match. Why are you in the ring after the match? Why
Mm-hmm.
are if you're that worried about Gunther,
Mm-hmm.
and if you're that scared of Gunther, why are you standing in the ring against him? You don't know what this man's about to do.
Yeah.
And Pat McAfee just went through it, and went through an entire ordeal with him and just got resuscitated from a chokehold from him.
Mm-hmm.
He's not in a position to protect you. So why are you in that ring?
100%.
So Gunther eventually looks at him, and I guess he gained respect for Pat McAfee. Does the little adieu,
Yeah.
gives him respect, and walks out while Pat McAfee and Michael Cole are in the ring. They embrace, they hug, and then they go their own separate ways. Um, the post match didn't make any sense. Like,
He's a heel. I thought he was going to attack him further or something.
something, because you're a heel. Yes, I understand. Pat McAfee gave you a fight you didn't expect. So yes, you gained respect for him in this match. But the crux of this whole match was, I don't like that Michael Cole is saying things about me. He's supposed to be unbiased. He's supposed to be whatever. So I attacked him. I'm not going to stop attacking him when he's now being unbiased again during one of my matches.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, it made zero sense. It doesn't do anything for Gunther moving forward. It doesn't make him look stronger.
He
It
should
doesn't
have.
make him more dastardly.
I would have enjoyed the bidding him adieu and then leaving the ring and then coming back to the ring
Yeah.
and then furthering the attack. But I agree with your point. It just story wise, it didn't make any sense the way he left it. And he's supposed to be the heel. And we both said that going into this match, he was supposed to be showcased as a destroyer, so to speak.
Or
And
to be this despicable human being coming out of this match.
yeah,
You
and
don't get
no,
that.
nope.
Like, it didn't make any sense. All right, so then we get, actually I flipped them, but Dominik, Mysterio, and Penta.
Mm-hmm.
Solid match. Dom is getting so good in the ring. There's a lot of spots in this match. He stood toe to toe with Penta, move for move. Like, he hit a stand or running Hurricane Run at one point. His suicide dive into a DDT on the outside was a thing of beauty. I don't think I've ever seen a wrestler do that, or if I have seen it, it's been such a long time, because that popped me. Every wrestler seems to do a standard suicide dive. This dude literally caught Penta clean and hit him with a DDT.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. This was another match which was just full of shenanigans. You knew whenever Judgment Day's around, they're going to be involved. Uh, Penta starts. I think it was after the Canadian Destroyer on the ring apron that Carlito comes out
Mm-hmm.
and distracts the referee. You get Finn and JD coming from the outside. They Finn, no, not Finn. JD grabs Penta. Finn goes to attack him. He goes, "Give me a second. Let me get a chair." He goes to get a chair. He turns around and he goes to hit Penta with the chair, and the referee is staring right at them, the same way he was staring right at Finn on Monday when he threw Penta in the ring. And Finn's standing there like a cheating lover, like, whose husband just came home, so he caught his wife in bed with another man. He's standing there with the chair in his hand, and he's like, "I didn't do nothing. What do you mean?" And the ref kicks them all out. Finn doesn't. Penta gets back into the ring. As they're arguing, he hits a plancha over the top rope, over the referee, takes out Carlito and JD. Finn somehow got away. Tries to get back into the ring, even though he's being barred from ringside. And then you get the greatest luchador of all time coming in, El Grande Americano, to headbutt Penta El Ciro, whatever he is this week.
Why
Up
do
the
you
top
say that
rope.
every time?
He's man has 17 names.
It's just Penta.
Now it's just Penta. Like,
So why do you keep mentioning the rest?
whatever. Penta Dark, Penta Cero Miedo, Penta whatever. He so he headbutts him with the little metal plate. Dom hits the frog splash to get the pinfall and the win. Two takeaways.
Mm-hmm.
Dom is a baby face. Dom is getting cheered. Dom is not a heel. I don't care how he wins. I don't care that his group is causing all types of havoc. Dom is a baby face. He needs to. He doesn't need to, but eventually, when they separate him from Judgment Day, he is going to be such a huge star. He's doing amazing work right now, and he's still healing it up, which is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Secondly, we are going to get a prolonged Chad Gable versus all of the luchadors feud. This is going to be this is going to be long. This is going to be Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest levels of
It's
long.
not going away because realistically, he keeps screwing everybody, even though he has nothing to do with nothing.
He just doesn't like masked wrestlers.
Yeah. So until, and to your point, when you mentioned it earlier, that's what's going to make sense. Eventually, at some point, Lucha Bros, they're going to be
Mm-hmm.
looking out for each other because they keep getting screwed over on both shows because of this guy running in
Yeah,
and doing whatever the hell he's doing to them. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So,
When I was watching the match, I was like, he doesn't just. It's not that he just hates Mexicans. He just hates the masked wrestlers. Because I'm like, he's not doing it to help Dom. Dom's technically a luchador. The only difference is he's not wearing a mask.
mm-hmm.
There's no difference. He just doesn't like masked wrestlers. That's it.
Pisses me off.
Hey, he's just racist against people who want to cover their face.
Basically, you know who he is? He's J. Jonah Jameson.
Okay,
Because
because he doesn't
everything
hate Peter Parker, but he hates Spider
he
Man.
hates Spider-Man because he's always his whole line, his shtick was always, "Why do you hide your face? Why do you hide behind a mask?" You know what I mean? And that was his whole thing. That's Chad Gable.
Okay, I guess. All right, so our main event. This was a lot of fun. This John Cena and Randy Orton was much better than I thought it was going to be coming in.
Mm.
We got a beautiful promo package highlighting the 25-year rivalry between John Cena and Randy Orton, going back to their time in OVW, coming up in SmackDown together, winning championships across from each other. We think about Orton and Cena, we think about one of the greatest rivalries of all time.
Mm.
Orton and Cena's rivalry doesn't truly start until they both have already won world championships. If you think about it, Cena's first championship win was against JBL. Orton's first championship win was against Triple H. There was no crossover between the two of them until about 2000 and I want to say 7 or 2008. And then for about a 5 or 6 year span, these guys have one of the great rivalries of all time. They have like 7,000 matches against each other, 11 championship matches on PLEs against each other. I think they put a graphic of 51 singles matches against each other in their career. It's insane. But this package, video package, was great. Um, Cena doing all the Cena heel stuff is fun. He truly let Randy Orton control this match.
Mm-hmm.
He truly let Randy Orton get all of his stuff in.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like Orton, besides the 5 RKOs on the officials, I feel like Orton hit about 5 RKOs on John Cena. I feel like Cena hit about
And he hit
four,
a few AAs.
and he hit a few AAs on the outside. The spot where he tried to put him through the announce table and didn't break. So he's like, screw it, we're going to go get a regular table and do the same exact spot that we were trying to do over there through the regular table. He tried to so Cena tries to put Orton at one point through the announce table.
Mm-hmm.
Orton gets off Cena's shoulders and instead puts Cena tries to put Cena through the announce table with an AA. It doesn't break. Orton's like, crap. All right, cool. Goes under the ring, gets a wooden table, sets it up. They do the same exact spot. Cena tries to put Orton through with the AA. He gets off, and then Orton hits him with the AA instead. I was just like, all right, we're going to call an audible because we got to get this spot in. Too many ref bumps. We had 2 ref bumps. Actually, 3 ref bumps because one of them took 2 ref bumps. Chad Patton took one in the ring, and then he took another one on the outside to the steel steps.
Mm-hmm.
And then Eddie Orengo comes out, and he goes to pin. I think Orton hit an RKO. He tries to get a 3 count, and Cena kicks out. Cena grabs the championship belt and goes to hit Orton with it. Orton ducks. He hits Eddie Orengo with the championship belt. Orton it's an RKO. Goes for 3 count. There's no referee. That brings out Nick Aldis, Hurricane, uh, not Chad Gable, Jamie Noble, like Sean Davari, like all of the backstage officials. They all come into the ring. They all start checking on Eddie Orengo to see if he's okay. Randy's yelling at Nick Aldis like, "I had the 3 count. I should be champion right now." And we made the point. The general manager technically has the power to count the 3 count and award the title to Randy Orton.
Mm-hmm.
So Orton gets pissed. Orton hits an RKO on all 5 of them, all 5 of the officials that were in the ring. Cena gets up as Orton celebrating because, voices in his head after RKOs. Hits Orton with a low blow. Actually, no, I skipped the other part. Cena's coming too. Orton goes for a punt kick on Cena. As he's going for the punt kick, R-Truth runs in, slides into the ring, and gets between Orton and Cena. And Randy Orton's yelling at him. He hits R-Truth with an RKO, and then he's staring outside the ring at R-Truth,
like,
and he's just yelling, "Why? Why are you here? Why did you cost me my title?" That's when Cena gets up and hits the low blow on Randy Orton, hits the attitude adjustment, and eventually Chad Patton, after taking a 15-minute nap while everything was going on, gets into the ring, counts a 3 count for Randy Orton. No, it wasn't he hit him with a low blow and the title shot. He hit him with the title. Then Chad Patton comes in and counts a 3 count. This was a lot of fun. Much better than his Cody Rhodes match at Mania.
We said it. We kept saying this is not going to be a repeat of that because Randy's not going to allow that.
Yeah, no. This was a lot of fun. Cena at the end of the show gets on the mic and says, "I'm the last real champion. I need competition. I need this." At that point, I just thought you were going to hear Cody Rhodes' entrance music
or somebody. I kept thinking, like midway through the match, I was like, I hope this is one of those things. Remember when Roman was champion, and every time Roman beat whoever was like his month-long beef with or whatever at
Brock
the pay-per-view,
somebody
somebody would come out. His next threat was right there looming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought this was going to be that, and then it just went off the air, and I was just like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
That was a missed opportunity for me.
Yeah, like I said, you could have had Cody come on. Maybe Cody doesn't get the shot right away, but even if Cody comes on and doesn't attack Cena, if Cody's music hits and he just stands at the top of the entranceway, he just stares at him, and you have that face off while Cena's still in the ring. That's a better way to.
I don't even care about Cody. Give me somebody. Give me whoever the next guy is that he's gonna be facing up against. Whoever it is, they should have came out. Somebody should have come out.
Reunion tour. I gotta see, because AJ's in a thing with Dom.
KO can't wrestle.
KO can't wrestle. Not Sami Zayn.
CM
Punk's in a thing with Seth right now. Like, he's not going to be worried about Roman. You could do again, I guess, if you want to do Roman Cena. But as far as Cena legacy feuds, there's not many to go on who are not doing something right now.
Yeah.
We can get Wade Barrett back and get his lick back from the Nexus.
Stop it.
I'm just saying.
Squash him one more time.
Squash him one more time. But overall, Backlash was an entertaining show. They kept it short, which I really liked. It was 2 hours and 45 minutes. It was shorter than last night's SmackDown, which is great because it was all wrestling. So it's 2 hours and 45 minutes of wrestling. You don't have any of these weird backstage or promo segments. It gives us the opportunity to do this now, so that way we can get it out early as possible for you guys. But overall, Backlash was fun. There's just a couple of booking things that just was not to our liking. But hopefully, going into Money in the Bank next month, they have a plan. we're going to start getting those qualifying matches probably as early as this Monday. And then we're gonna start getting promos, or people just start looking up at the sky and be like, "I'm going for that." So yeah, so it's the WrestleMania sign all over again. Like it's so annoying every. Yeah, but that's about it. Overall, I give Backlash a B minus if I'm grading it.
I'll give it a B plus just because that R-Truth spot. I loved it. I loved it because I knew at some point he was gonna get involved. I didn't know it was gonna be tonight, but I knew at some point he was gonna get involved, and I knew somebody was gonna come out at some point. So then when I saw R-Truth, I was just like, I knew it. I knew you were gonna get involved some way, somehow, because it only makes sense. He's incensed with the fact that John Cena is his hero, and
He's 6 years older than John Cena.
he wants to be like him when he grows up. He keeps going and doing like all these interviews, and he keeps defending it, saying, we don't know his side, this, that, and the third, which I love. I love what he's doing. So I'm glad that they set him up to come out tonight.
I still need Cena at one point to turn on R-Truth and attack him. I need R-Truth to be in the ring having a conversation with Cena, telling him how much he loves him, and Cena just attack him and put him in an STF and just hold him there for a while.
I need him to be the reason why he comes back. And then it was funny because I was watching an interview he was doing with Chris Van Vliet, and Chris Van Vliet even said it. He was like, "Why can't you bring him back? You should be the one that brings him back." I was just like, "Yes, Chris, we are on the same wavelength." That needs to happen. He needs to be the one to convince him.
I still think you want Cena to get mega heat. He obliterates R-Truth.
No, I think you do both. I think you obliterate him, and R-Truth is that much in awe of him that he doesn't. He continues to defend him, and then later on he convinces him.
I mean, it's in R-Truth's character. Remember when he was in the Judgment Day?
That's what I'm saying.
Beating him down every week, and he just kept coming around.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's completely within his character. It makes sense. You could do both.
All right.
I'm just saying.
All right. Well, let us know what you guys thought about Backlash. We got Monday Night Raw in 2 nights. Hopefully, we start the build to Money in the Bank well. And that's all I got.
So, as always, we enjoy when you guys like, comment, subscribe, and follow. Continue to do that, especially the comments. We love to interact with you guys, and we want to continue to help build this little community of ours. And we'll catch you on the next one.
Yeah, peace.